Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is December 14th. So let's get right into it because the treasuries are moving here. First, though, the E-mini. So E-mini starting or ending last week at pretty sad and a really good gap here over the weekend. I think a lot of this was Brexit. Brexit looks okay. Vaccine being distributed, all them good headlines. Treasuries just taking a dive off of this. And again, I think that for the treasuries, it seems like the Brexit talks are the most significant thing. So even though Brexit talks are like a little bit more hopeful, there's still not like a deal. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I thought that it was like we're in no deal territory, but I digress. Oil still kind of in consolidation. Gold taking a dip lower. Copper up in just consolidating off of that dip from Friday. And of course the dollar lower once more. Not quite as, I mean, we touched 90, right? At one point we touched 90, I think. So this is a retracement. You know what I should do? I should extend this 5 days. Let's do 15 days. Okay, yeah, so you can see, actually a little step lower, in fact. So, also, let's see here. Well, let's come back over here. Turn to text-to-speech on. Let's see here. In other news, we had a hack of the Treasury Department that was made public over the weekend. Apparently, this happened quite a while ago. In fact, before Krebs was released from the White House. But maybe that's why. Treasury Department breached. And this morning, YouTube services were down. Although I guess they fixed it before we had to go live. I was worried that we were going to have to do something. That we were going to have to move over to Discord or something. But it looks like we're okay. Looks like we're okay. Treasury, though. That treasury. So was that last move down was not on the open. In fact, we haven't gone much of anywhere since the open. And the E-mini taken a little dive there 15 minutes ago. Let's just see here. Was there anything 15 minutes ago? China plans a new disease control agency in COVID-19 aftermath. Are you locked in your Google nested home when there is a global Google outage? Who controls the temperature? Asks a Zero Hedge. Okay, so tech giant said to face EU fines as high as 10% of annual revenue. Ooh, that would do it. That would do it.
Vlad Stolyarov says 1/2 people waiting for Santa, 1/3 already on vacation.
Already on vacation? Guys, it's only the 14th. It's only the 14th. Christmas is next week. We got stuff. Let's see here. We got tomorrow, Empire State Manufacturing Index, import prices, capacity utilization rate, core retail sales on Wednesday, flash PMIs, FOMC statement on Wednesday. It's an FOMC week. Ooh, so the Treasury's taking a dive like that on FOMC week is kind of not good, right? kind of not good. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index and unemployment claims on Thursday, building permits, housing permits. Current account bank stress test results on Friday. Ooh. Oh, look at that. They just take that like it's nothing. Options expire this week. Good point. A lot. Yeah, because there's been a lot of gamma out there. How far up do you think this could bounce? I figure they clearly want to sell it. So the question is just like, they're going to make it like, oh, if you try and sell it at 23.5, then you're going to get caught, right? So are they going to pump it back up? Well, or they could just clear it on nothing. Jeez. Pierre Clot, how are you? Okay, they took that on almost nothing, but then when it ticked back up, they were willing to hold some. So I think that they're gonna skid back up here into us. Let's try it. Actually, guys, good deal. Future Trader 71 says the ESF roll is about 50% done. Who is not rolled over? I really, the rollover in the treasury, it's like a thing. It's like that one day and then like it's done. But it's so much more complicated in the E-mini, it seems. I don't know. I've only done this in the E-mini like 6 times, right? There should be plenty, but... Some people reporting slowness on Discord too. Protect your port. Porch pirates are out in force this time of year, so make sure you're taking the appropriate actions to keep your stuff safe. Well, since I'm home all the time and they knock on the door, it hasn't been a problem for us. Not yet, at least. Okay, so 1726 at 24.
Winston's mom says good morning. I didn't realize it was this time already. I hope you had a good weekend. Everyone ready for a pre-holiday week?
Oh, you guys, already on vacation. We got a full week ahead of us, folks. Time to work hard. Listen, one thing I have learned in my life: work hard when everybody else is slacking. That's one of the best ways to gain an advantage. Everybody else wants to go on vacation. Okay, go on vacation. It ain't over yet this week. It's just getting started, and there's a lot of significant news coming out. And we're getting unplanned news, too. The Treasury Department getting hacked. YouTube down. I mean, come on. If there's YouTube dies, there's Zoom, Periscope, and Twitch. So if YouTube is not up, I will try to stream to Twitch. If Twitch is also not up, then I will try to stream to Discord. If Discord is down, then I don't know, abandon all hope. I have a channel on what is it called? I'm all sitting here. Okay, here's another alternative that we go to if anything ever happens. I can't even remember the name of the freaking website. So it's the one with the crappy name. Twitch got bought by Amazon. I don't think it ever goes down. Yeah, it's pretty stable for sure. I'm concerned about Twitch as a platform, to be honest with you. I just, part of it is just that I decided not to stream to Twitch anymore, and so I've got like an axe to grind with them or something. Not that I have an axe to grind or anything, but it's just there's no discoverability over on Twitch. You don't get VODs. You don't get so there's some real problems with putting all of your effort into Twitch. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that the channel is way larger than it would otherwise be because we only do the YouTube over here. Could be wrong though. There's a number of market people. We could go look. Let's go look at Twitch. What do they got? Because we normally get 50. Here's the category. Nah, actually, the largest category right now is they got 50. So, yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Winston's mom says YouTube was messing up this weekend. Something was going wrong in numerous chat rooms. Live chat and top chat seemed to get mixed up.
Oh, really? Well, they're saying what I'm seeing is that there was issues with account services. So, okay, so they pulled a little bit at 24.5 and ticked up, and I don't know if they're going to hit 25 or not. That's not necessarily the way you want to get filled, is it?
Winston's mom says one of my friends, a content creator, accidentally insulted the national Albanian hat worn by Florian Marku, a boxer and Albanian. Every Albanian on YouTube is leaving nasty comments on his channel.
Why would you do that?
Vlad Stolyarov says Linda Rashke on Friday set it off to feed my horses and left Oats futures chart at all-time highs.
Oh, is that? Wait, she does a stream? Does she stream now? She is the one that I've kind of wondered about because people will tell me about her, and some of the things that she bases her trades off of, I'm kind of like, okay. But when people talk, oh, it's just on her Twitter feed. Okay, they all talk like she's doing well, but then it's like I kind of wonder, you don't actually see results. It's really actually quite easy to make it appear like you're always doing awesome. You know what I mean? No free stuff, just comments. That's interesting. That's one spot where the psychology bit, right? Those are the ones. Psychology and price action are the ones that I get the most skeptical about, because on the psychology end, I just know that no amount of psychology is going to help you if you don't have a psychological edge. And I kind of sit there like, okay, so why do you become a psych expert? Is that because you didn't have the actual edge, and so you decided to focus on that? I mean, I guess that's okay, as long as you're not making performance claims that are untrue or giving people impressions about your performance that are untrue. I don't think that's the real Linda. That profile messaged me offering a forex trading system and some real. Anyways, and then the other one is price action, and the problem that I have with price action is it's just this amorphous term that means whatever people want it to. Last time she was talking about lumber futures earlier this year because it did run like, well, I'm sure that just about anybody would mention something that just ran and ran and ran. This sometimes this year, don't you think? It's been a crazy market. Oh, you know what? I don't have these switched over here. Hold on. CB. Elizabeth. I'm like, why am I not seeing orders come through? I want to see orders. There we go.
Winston's mom says she looks at market internals and higher time frames to establish her view on shorter-term price action. She said this provides market contrast. Pattern recognition. Lol. Vlad Stolyarov says psychology is like, oh look, commodity futures didn't even have pullback, making it look like easy trade.
Wow. Just to be clear, I'm not accusing her of anything or trying to say anything about. I'm just saying I hear about her a lot, and here's the thing that I don't think people understand. People will say, okay, if you're going to learn from a trading guru, and maybe you're going to buy their course or something like that, you should get actual records from them, right? Like the Raging Bull guys, they were actually losing money, and we didn't have any trading records from them. And so you would want to see a certain amount of performance and yada, yada, yada. Okay. You'll never see it. And when you do see it, they will modify their results and pick and choose what they show you. Because here's the thing, nobody wins all the time. And for somebody that is basing their business off of how successful of a trader they are, if they have a year that is unsuccessful, then they're screwed, right? So you basically, once you start making that claim, you have to pretend that you're doing well forever. That's why I just say sometimes I make money and sometimes I don't. Like I've had periods where I did really, really well, and I've had periods where I did really, really poorly, right? And you can't make the mistake of assuming that past performance is indicative of future results, right?
Winston's mom says that today was going to be more of a rotation day. You're going to trade a rotation consolidation much differently than you'd trade a range expansion day. It puts it into context. Winston's mom says I'm not going to be able to judge if it's going to be a high to low day or low to high day with just a 5-minute chart. I really need to look at something like a 120-minute or a daily candle.
Okay, so we're getting some pushback at 26 now. They did go quite a bit further than I expected, must admit. But they are getting the pushback, so we'll see.
RJ Wheels says if you are paying for a trade room, a fifth of the screen better be taken up with a live trading platform where they show entries and exits in real time. Or just forget it.
Yeah. But there again, it's like, even if people show your entries and exits, I have found that people still find ways to trick you. So the most common, the most easy thing, and not everybody that does this is trying to scam you. A lot of people are just well-intentioned, but the easiest way to do it is to just use a high-risk strategy with a really wide stop. Right? So then it looks like you're winning all the time, and the one day that you lose, you just don't say how much it was. You just don't show your record, and everybody forgets about the time that you lose. It's really weird. But people are only interested in when you're doing really, really well. Right? So, for example, there are trading gurus out there who are I believe are literally scamming you. And I don't name names when I do this sort of thing because I don't want to give them the attention, but I've seen, and there's more than one of these guys too. And they have had like serious blowouts. Like they get all big and start talking hot, like they're the hot shit, and they're like, okay, I'll do a contest. They do a contest, and they go and they start the contest, and they blow their account literally like the first day. And then, I had platform issues. I had this and that, and then and the people that follow them just don't even think twice about it. They're like, oh, yeah, they all have a bad day every once in a while, but most days they come out winning. And see that because these people don't actually know how to look through and find out the positive, the expectancy of something. And the problem with those systems too is that the expectancy on it, to really, really know what the expectancy is of it, you have to trade it for a while. You can't just take a month's worth of trades and know the expectancy of that system, because it's certain kinds of markets that really screw you over. So it's, how it's like, I've told you before that a lot of the really good traders that I've seen, they'll do kind of okay break even most of the time. And then there will be like this 1 week where there's something going on and they'll just make tons and tons and tons. And that makes up for the whole rest of the year, right? Well, with these guys, it's like the exact opposite. They'll do kind of okay most days, and then there'll be this 1 week where they just completely blow it. And nobody remembers that part. Good morning, Ace. I'm gonna be interested to see what direction Ace wants to take this, because the E-mini seems a little. I mean, we gapped up pretty good, right? We gapped up pretty good, so that's. You got to be leaning on the long side because of the gap up, right? But then we also had this kind of ugly little downturn here about 30 minutes ago now. I'm not sure what to make of.
Winston's mom says Warren Buffett says no one wants to get rich slow. Sounds pretty good to me now, lol. Pierre Clot says gap up and then, nothing.
Sure.
Lobo Trader says hi Ace at ACE trades slightly smiling face. Hey, I opened a runner M2K and now hope to add.
26 halves still being kind of fighty.
Vlad Stolyarov says especially last week I know someone on Top Step Futures losing by having too much size, killing his whole winning streak like 18k loss BC 20 lots swinging he thought averaging down like the guru.
Yeah, you just martingale it, and you'll only lose like 10% of the time, and nobody's the wiser. And that's the other thing, and that's the thing that really scares me, is that as a content creator, you have more control over what kind of an audience you attract than people realize. These guys that just want to attract suckers, it's really easy to gear your content in a way that the serious traders will just ignore you and move on. And all of the suckers that don't know what's going on will be like, oh yeah, I want to get in on that, and give you money. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, because I've looked many, many times where it's like, well, I could do this and I could do this, and the channel would probably get a lot bigger. But then I wouldn't really be helping myself, because I'd be attracting the people that don't really help me. Preferably we attract day traders that are more successful than ourselves, right? Techno, yeah. What do you mean when you say M2K? That's not the first time you've said that, Lobo. Oh, that's right, the micro Russell. I'm so dumb. He told us that last time he used it too. I keep forgetting, because none of us trade the Russell. Working on this ATM feature of NT8, but I think I will code it myself better, having too many surprises with ATM. Yeah, I haven't really messed with ATM strategies that much, but I know that there's some funky things you can do with them. You attract people who understand you. Yeah, well, I mean, it really comes down to, you say something that speaks to people, and that's what draws them in, So you know who's the best at this, really? If I'm honest, and maybe I'm a little jealous, but if I'm honest, the best guy in our space at this is Anthony Crudelli. Don't you think? Every day he will post some piece of sagely advice, and everybody goes, oh yeah, that. He's got it, man. That guy is a unique guy, because he has traded really, really well in the past, and he kind of has that, like, I don't know what it is, like that Italian swagger. You know what I mean? He's just very likable. But that's in social media, that's generally how you get them. Because people are bombarded with content all the time, right? Like that, which is crazy, that given how much content people are bombarded with all the time, that even if you're just posting absolute trash, you can still get a certain amount of audience. but people are bombarded with stuff all the time, and so what causes them to become like a devoted follower of a channel? You've got to say something that like really gets the chemical going, that says, oh yes, that speaks to my soul. Right? For me, it's when I come in and I expose the reality of things to people who have been through the reality of it, go, yep, that's right. It's hard. I've made money, I've lost money. It's a constant battle. And that's how we're able to attract the serious traders that we are. Feeling a little woozy. I don't know if maybe I didn't eat enough or something. I don't know.
Winston's mom says, as traders we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make money every single day. Those are unrealistic expectations. When you stop playing for perfection and start playing to compete.
I kind of wonder, when they talk about there's like 90% of traders fail. Now I know that because of the way that the game works, that most traders have to fail, right? The only way that the guys that are doing well can really make excess returns, really make a ton of money, is at the expense of a bunch of other small traders losing money, right? But I wonder, there's certain things that, if the community was able to get rid of them, how much would that percentage change? Because I don't think that it should be 95%. You know what I mean?
Winston's mom says if you faint, is someone at home? Ace trades, speaking of kids and eating, if Speculator Seth falls over, can you call Mrs. Speculator Seth?
Well, I don't think I'm going to pass out. I don't feel like I'm going to pass out, but I do feel a little, maybe I blew my nose too hard or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Vlad Stolyarov says I want to make fun of gurus, but those Instagram pictures of Rolexes and hot cars and jet airplanes gonna attract audiences that just gonna say what are you talking about, he legit.
Maybe we'll take a minute. I don't know, like, do I need to go and get a little swig of Gatorade maybe? Wireless LAN problems. So I had a muffin. I had a large muffin and a banana for breakfast. No bacon. Normally I would like to have bacon in there too. Had a good dinner last night. Not the best night's sleep, to be honest, but
Winston's mom says my sister-in-law was married
Right.
to a real estate agent who rented a hot car, drove to an expensive mansion and in his rented tuxedo, had pictures taken of himself looking like he owned all of that.
well, I can hold on to this and see if it works out. And this is a sim trade, so I guess I can afford to do that. But I think that here at 27 that I was just wrong. Person do stuff for TikTok stock traders. I see a lot of those too. The thing that I think is funny about the TikTok guys is that they always post stuff that I've back tested and determined aren't very effective. Hold on, I'm gonna go get a drink and be right back.
Winston's mom says almost top of the hour. While Speculator Seth is off screen, will everyone please take a
Yeah.
quick second to hit the like button? Thanks. This helps promote his channel.
Well, I still think that the treasuries are going to move down overall on the day, but this move obviously retraced that, we weren't around for that earlier move that happened at the top of the hour, but that kind of looks like that they created a hole behind them and that the market maker just let it come all the way back up. And so they didn't hold the trend like I thought I was going to. I probably shouldn't have added a contract. TikTok is a good platform. Affiliate links. Well, I have water, but I went and got a little swig of Gatorade. Are you a day trader or a swing trader? So I'm rely very much on market making methods.
Vlad Stolyarov says he a day trader by day.
And by night? Vigilante by night. No. Okay, but let me out.
Winston's mom says MarketWatch says marijuana legislation will get a big push next year because governments want the tax cash.
It wouldn't surprise me. That one's an interesting take because from as a government, you've got to be careful about the drugs because like for instance, the fentanyl with China thing, right? China is 100% encouraging fentanyl, import and abuse in the United States because they know that it makes the United States weaker. And they know that because back in the day, the British would promote the use of opium to keep the Chinese subjugated. So man, I don't know. I would like to take a trade here in the E-mini, but it is too tight to really make any sense of this.
Winston's mom says Ace trades. Now my business of ferrets is Juliet Ferret and I. She is almost 10 and was our alpha. The others are on the Rainbow Bridge waiting for her. She will be my last. I loved being a ferret.
A ferret. Well, the liquidity 1 or 2 levels out is not
Ace
bad.
Trade says at WQY. Pierre Klotz says what short or long the S.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure here. The ES is starting to get a little too tight for me to really make meaningful reads off of it. I do see...
Ace Trades says at Winston's mom I didn't realize we were down to 1. Is that okay for her? Is she wishing for some more ferrets?
I am seeing that the trend in the E-mini is slowing down a bit. I don't need this.
Pierre Klotz says I don't see anything on the S perso.
Yeah, it looks like my currencies need to be rolled over here. I was just looking at the pound and I was like, that's getting a little spotty. Okay.
Winston's mom says Ace trades. She is a slightly confused old lady ferret who sleeps through most of her day. She does one border patrol and likes drinking water from the shower. She had a chance to say goodbye to each one.
You see, I just feel like a little bit nauseous. I don't know. Maybe it was something I ate because I feel it in my stomach. Let's sit up straight. That might help a little. Okay, a little bit of clicky action in the E-mini there.
Vlad Stolyarov says flush it out with salt water.
I don't know. So
Vlad
they're going back and
Stolyarov
forth.
says smiley face.
They're going back and forth at 27.5, but when they go,
Vlad
they're willing
Stolyarov
to
says
stack
but
a lot.
stream will be over.
I'll be okay. It may just be my body reacting. Sometimes with Straterra can make you feel a little nauseous. Because if you don't have enough protein coming in.
Winston's mom says speculator Seth, do you have trouble with your blood sugar? A low blood sugar thing or an insulin reaction could make you weak, feel faint and nauseous.
Not actively, but I am a little anemic, right? It doesn't take me much. Like if I skip a meal, I start to feel really icky. Pull 27.5. Now it's starting to get into my head because I feel really awful.
Winston's mom says, do you have any orange juice in the house?
I just drank some Gatorade. Okay, 27.5
Vlad
goes
Stolyarov
off.
says orange juice makes it worse. BC acid. Winston's mom says Ace trades. Speculator Seth does not look well.
I don't feel well. I'm going to sit down for a second, okay? We're okay, though.
Winston's mom says okay, go sit. Ace trades says he needs to go throw up. I've got his wife's number in case I need to call her. Winston's mom says good. Uzi Knesset says that looks like silent acid reflux stuff my wife suffers from. Winston's mom says, clip speculator Seth not feeling well. Vlad Stolyarov says eat rice and egg drop soup after flushing everything out. Salt water. If it's a deadly virus, use vodka. Winston's mom says every time I hear someone has caught COVID, it usually begins with a headache. Then they seem to lose their sense of taste and smell. This reminds me more of a diabetes like wooziness or Vlad's AR.
Wow. Feel a little better. I was kind of breaking out into a cold sweat there, though. Joe Brown, I'm sitting here in the dark in my toddler's room because the light is controlled by Google Home. Rethinking a lot right now. Nah, I don't think I have COVID. I think that I'm probably just having a...
Vlad Stolyarov says I wanted to do lead project when market goes red, room goes red.
Oh yeah, we could do that sort of a thing, actually.
Vlad Stolyarov says like the TV glow bar.
I'm still meaning to go and make an LED bar, like a little text display. In fact, I think I have an Arduino to do it with now, because my son used one for a school project and it's just sitting there. But I would need to get the right kind of LED strips.
Winston's mom says the WSJ says Reddit bought the video sharing app Dubsmash.
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that one. What's that new one that some conservatives are pushing?
Ace Trades says, bro, you okay?
I think so. I don't think I was ever at risk of passing out, but I was getting a cold sweat there. I am kind of wondering if
Shin
I needed
Spitfire
to
says
eat more
lip
protein.
smash. Eddie Solano says, good morning, what do you think about AHT?
Never heard of it. Okay, 27 firms back up.
Winston's mom says Dub Smash is a New York-based video sharing social media service application for iOS and Android. Founded in Germany by Jonas Druppel, Roland Grenke.
Reddit
Winston's
acquiring
mom says in
things
Daniel
is...
Tashik, the company relocated from Germany to the New York in 2016.
I am actually kind of surprised that Reddit hadn't gotten bought out by somebody much larger. I mean, I know that they're owned by...
Brad Messerl says you have the first case of the flu in the country, sad face, hope you feel better.
Probably not. I think it was Condé Nast. They were, and I don't know who the big owner is right now, but Reddit very much reminds me of how I felt when Dig was starting to go downhill, man. Like, honestly, when I go on TikTok and I read the comments on TikTok, I'm like, that's where
Shin
all the
Spitfire
interesting
says
people
I
went.
remember when some celebrities were doing Dub Smash like 3 or 4 years ago.
Comments on Reddit right now are just so awful. Especially anything political. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Some of those people are just really just crazy.
Ace Trades says closing this trade.
Oh, what was the trade that you took? Short?
Ace
Well,
Trades says went long way back
26
there.
off.
Almost
Oh, okay.
got 2, but never hit it.
I see.
Winston's mom says Ashford Hospitality Trust, Inc. NYSE. AHT, did you mean this stock? Eddie Solano?
So it looks like there's not a lot of trend at the moment. The market's kind of turned choppy
Ace
in the
Trades
E-mini.
says looking for a short in here.
But then we're in a pretty okay spot. I think we should wait just a little bit. But we're probably getting into an area where we should be able to make an okay read. Okay, so got filled there.
Ace Trades says short at 79.25 if it hits. RJ Wheels says 95 or 90 of those that try. But what is percentage of those that stay at it for say 5 years and really work it?
So my understanding is that after 5
RJ
years,
Wheels says this
75%
takes
are
a lot
gone.
of work.
75% are gone, but then even of that last remaining bit, there's still only like a minority of those are profitable. It's something that I see a lot on Reddit is that really irks me is this attitude that the only reason why the failure rate is so high is because most people don't try hard enough or something like that. But it's not. Like, you have to understand that it's the very nature of the thing. The very nature of the game is that only the top 5% or so are really going to make money. Are you the top 5%? That's what you got to be asking yourself. Watch live as the first person in New York gets vaccinated. Tweets Andrew Cuomo. Sky Adams says, the moment you realize China controls so much of our economy that we can't retaliate for direct cyber attacks on the homeland without making things worse. Do you really think that it was the Chinese that did it? I'm not saying that I don't think that it's the Chinese, but okay, just turned back up into a long. Oh, actually, never mind. I see what's going on. It hasn't moved. I thought that comeback up was. This accusation astonished Chinese people. If a Chinese company hires an American, it will not consider whether he or she
Ace Trades
is a
says,
Republican or Democrat. Nor will it speculate whether he or she is a spy. It is a sign of decline that the Five Eyes countries have become so suspicious. No, who? It was not that we're suspicious. It's that we got a verified list of spies, basically. Well, they're not. I don't think that they're spies. They're people that the Chinese government intentionally has out there to benefit the Chinese people.
Brad Messerl says, I was going to do a ticker that would go all around the room.
A ticker that goes all the way around. I'm only going to do like from the edge of the chalkboard to the wall, maybe. Yeah, that's about how long I think I want to make it. 3 feet. You go further than 3 feet, then you have to do some funky stuff to make the colors on the LED strip correct, because the power can't go that far.
Shin Spitfire says, seems like plenty of out-of-control viruses come from China.
Well, that's always been the case.
Ace Trades says it would be so cool to find an old stock ticker.
Yeah. But these things really aren't that difficult to make. You just need the LED, the right kind of LED strip that has the right spacing. You know, just like the LED strips that I have around the chalkboard there.
Ace Trades says at Shin Spitfire they don't. Relax.
No, a very large number of significant diseases have traditionally come from Asia, and this is going back hundreds of years because of the weird things that they eat. More likely to get a new virus that crosses over and that humans don't really have a good defense for. Just like in this case, it was a bat, or at least the closest thing they found was a bat. But it's kind of funny how they kind of just, it's like they decided that they really don't know.
I am relaxed. It's a legit question.
That it was like they really don't know and just gave up on trying to figure it out. So remember back in February when we were all arguing about where it came from, right? And I was like, what if it came from a bat? But then when it turned out that it was like, maybe it actually did come from the Wuhan laboratory, and then everybody shut up about it. So that pulled a 27 pretty good. I think I'm going to get my fill here, but...
Ace Trades says short 79.25. Not going to give it a lot of room.
See, so I just want to point out here on my chart. Well, close that and come down. So if you look this top middle one, you can see how they've come back to the buyer's cost basis and have been bouncing off of it here. Do you see that? Why is this so... There we go. Okay. You see them bouncing off of that line there? But it's a pretty tight range with not a lot to go off of. But you can see down here that there's hardly any trend at all. So we're probably in a spot to potentially get something going. The Germans don't like nuclear power. Did not know that. The French are okay with it, right? I was reading a tweet here. Germans have this group think Trump is a bad man. He could walk on water and cure cancer, but they would not change their opinion. Nuclear power is bad too. Similar group
Pierre
think.
Klotz says, well, thinking of along if we got back on 75.
And this guy says Germans think that Biden will be their savior, but fail to realize the position the Democrats took on Russia will force Biden to act counter to Berlin's aspirations to cozy up to Moscow. Oh yes, that's right. Kind of forgot about that. That Germany has kind of been trying to be nice to Germany to Russia because they want the oil. Remember back earlier in Donald Trump's presidency, and they were buying oil from Russia and being nice about the pipeline and everything, and everybody was like, if you guys are so concerned about Russia, then why are you letting the Germans cozy up to them like that? By the way, another thing I want to point out.
Pierre Klotz says Russia is not
Russia's
the enemy.
not the enemy. This story that we were talking about a little bit earlier, where there's a big, huge list published of Chinese infiltrators in companies and agencies and stuff that are essentially a list kept by the Chinese government and all of that. That came from Australia. And Australia has been having a lot of problems with China. China has all of the sudden, and I guess maybe it's because Joe Biden won. I don't know, because it's really only been since then. But China has been really pushing Australia around, and it seems that China views Australia as their largest competitor for supremacy in the Pacific Ocean. And so they're trying to weaken Australia now all of a sudden. And so it's just like, oh, we're just going to shut down trade with you and do all of these things. Because you see, it's kind of funny. They're in this whole thing where we're saying it's easy to win a trade war when you're an export economy and everything else like that. Well, I think that the end result of all of that was that it's never easy to win a trade war. But I do think that they proved that you have more leverage if you're the one that is, consuming. And so in this case, China was the consumer from Australia, and so China just started banning all their products, and it's hurt Australia big time. And this move appears to me to be a move by Australia to try and continue to solidify the global community against China.
Trump, according to him.
According to him, yeah. Obviously, it didn't work out that well.
Ace Trades says 2 minutes.
It would be interesting to see if Donald Trump won, where that would go. Or even if maybe Joe Biden decides that he's going to be tough. We can only hope. Goldman, global vaccine supply is likely to become plentiful. The point at which 50% of the population is vaccinated looks realistic in April for the US and UK, maybe even Canada. Oh, May for Canada, June for the EU and Australia, and July for Japan. Oh, okay, cool. And again, the story is coming out first people in the United States to get vaccinated. Outside of a trial, of course.
Pierre Klotz says my guess we go on the liquidity at 75.5 then up.
Well, the E-mini so far is maybe turning down, but I guess we're right here at the open, so. Okay, so first impulse down. It's a lot of fight on it. Here's your moving average. Okay. Buyers pull it out, but it's pretty slow there. Not even having a hard time even getting
Pierre
2 points
Klotz
there.
says 365 on 75.5.
Okay, seller's trying again. Still pretty grindy. Oh, you know what? I'm missing something over here.
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ at 50% retrace fib 12,447 sitting for now. TSLA up a little plus
There we
13
go.
AMZN up plus 18.
So this one, I think I need to cancel it or move it.
Vlad Stolyarov says AAPL undecided 123 node.
Because they hit through there. They're definitely going through that this time, right? Phil. We're just gonna have to play this one by ear. Tenure looks like it's wants to tick down again. Okay. Well, it's a little slow, so I'm a little, I don't know. Slow on upside is okay, right? I got to keep reminding myself that all of my stats show that slow and being in it for a long time on the long side is okay. And I do see, yes, so there's just another little pivot above us here at 81 3/4. So, and then nothing until 85. And it looks like we are about to maybe pick up some good, strong trend. I'm wondering if they have enough orders to really make it all the way up there. I guess we'll see. The cumulative delta was actually from the open is actually negative.
Vlad Stolyarov says 78 under, maybe it's gonna be back then.
Okay, so there was a little bit of a, I don't know if that was a stop run, but they definitely ran a little bit there. In the 10-year
Vlad Stolyarov says no clue VC, they gap it up, ruining my fun.
You're right. Well, there's a lot of volume to come up
Vlad
if they're going to continue doing
NQ
this.
ran up so far.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point. I didn't notice. I mean, I don't keep the NQ chart up, but I do watch the spread between them, and it looks like the spread is definitely going, and that the NQ is running compared to the ES. Okay. They're going to clear us at 82.5. It's a little bit of volume going into it, but okay. And I got filled over here. So I'm thinking about, again, if I want to market make again, if I should put my liquidity out at 26.5, because that's kind of what they're making it look like I would have to do. But I'm not so sure. Like we've got this range here, and if they were to go to the other side of the range, I would really prefer 27. So I think what I can do in this instance is I can put it at 27, and if I don't get filled, it's okay. Okay, so there's your run. This is very, very nice. Stopping right at that pivot. They're going to bust through that. So I think that they break the overnight high, then you probably should see quite a bit of volume come through. And there's still some guys short over in here on cumulative delta. Although I am showing that we're above the stop out zone, so. Okay. So I don't know where this pivot is from. It must have been from last week. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It was the last pivot left over from that downturn. Okay, well. So I think that 4-1 is good. I'm really looking at it, feeling like, oh, this could just run further. Wow. That one, so you see the volume that traded at 26? That was, I think that means that I took it off at the right spot, but obviously it could have gotten better. Oh, the forecast is a mild winter? Really? Because they don't feel mild out there right now. They're just talking about OPEC stuff. Hold on. Come here. Mom's dressed. That's good. Okay, look. Now you're in the thing. You can see yourself. Are you happy? And yeah, you can touch the microphone and push it over. Don't push it over, please. You got a pretty radical hairdo there. Yeah. It is a pretty good one. Look, I look like I got a pretty good exit there.
Sugar Daddy says, "Wah,
Turning
baby
around
Seven."
right there.
Winston's mom says, "Hi, baby Asher looking very
Looking
handsome
handsome.
today in his onesie."
She always puts him in like striped
Ace Trades
stuff.
says, "Baby Asher."
Like, why do you keep dressing my child like a prisoner? Okay. Just go take you to mom. No, I want to stay here. I love you too.
Ace Trades says, "Stipes are slimming." Winston's mom says, "Why do you keep dressing my child like a prisoner, ROFL?" Sugar Daddy says, "Prisoner Saudi."
Okay, so they stepped down there a little bit and took a good look at lower, but then decided to come back up in at 26. I suppose I could add the contract back on at 26, but stripes are slimming. But isn't that vertical stripes are slimming? I don't know. So horizontal stripes make him look more wide, right? I guess a little more cute. He's a big baby. I'd say that. Apparently he is larger than like 95% of kids his age, so. Now I need to come back over here and look. Okay. I'm thinking back on it, like why I was going for long and everything else like that. I didn't really think about it that hard, but it really was a good long setup because of this support that we had and everything. But I kind of was more reading it from the tape that they were going to buy it. I don't know. I think I should probably try to be more intentional about that, huh? Okay, so they continue upwards. I'll blow my nose here. They came back up there. So they're coming back up there. I'm not convinced that that's informed trading buying it. It does kind of look like them just trying to squeeze people, but I could be wrong. Definitely need to keep an eye on it. It just they come back so quickly, don't you think? ECB bought 761 million of corporate bonds in the week from December 11th versus 1.984 billion the week earlier. That's a lot less, half, like 45%. As much. E-mini still pressuring those highs, coming back up there quite nicely, really. That dip earlier in the morning looks like no big deal now, doesn't it? Worldwide volume of exchange-traded derivatives was 4.45 billion contracts in the month up November, up 11% from the previous month and up 57.1% from November 2019. This is the second highest amount recorded for any month after March 2020's record-setting level. Wow, really? Really? Surprised. I guess, yeah, there was a lot more volume in November than there was October, but a lot of that was because of the election, right? Okay, maybe they're not going to do it. Was close. I could have taken 26.5, but report says London likely to enter highest tier of COVID restrictions on Thursday.
Sugar Daddy says loose down for the rest of the day.
Which one you say looks down for the rest of the day? The E-mini? The Treasury? I'd say that E-mini made a great run, but that they're definitely going to pull
Daddy
back a little
MNQ.
here. I think, well, it's interestingly enough, they didn't get to like the full-on trend kind of level on the ES, so they might try another run. They did push up the cost basis. So part of the reason why I took my trade off was because of where we were on the stop out zone, but you know, they've given themselves more room since then, so that's probably okay. Hi. Baby's slamming on the door. He's like, let me in, let me in. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. You stay there, okay? You stay there. Okay, the first COVID vaccine has been administered, everybody. Now the economy can move up. Megan Mark, I don't remember who that is. Oh, yes, she's the Duchess of Sussex. That's right. Okay. Makes surprise appearance. I'm like, why? Who is that? Why does that matter? It doesn't matter. It's a fluff piece.
Sugar Daddy says he is claiming his money back. The IRS, you're trading tax money.
He gave up. I don't know. They usually come all the way back. I have to say. They can pull back a little bit and level off a little bit, but I do think that the E-mini is going to shoot back up. Let's see here. Dash down 9.5% and Airbnb down 7%. Wow. Well, we should come and look at some of these guys. I'm wondering if our cloud service companies take a hit. because of the hack. Because apparently the hack was due to Solar Winds, which is a cloud. Well, it's a monitoring service. I guess it's. I don't recall how cloud it is, but. Of course, it never saves. It changes. I mean, oh, look, I assume it's doing okay. Oh man, I can't remember the name of the stock that we had pulled up there. What was it? MP. MP. Okay, so MP had a pretty good run on Friday, but they coming back. Apple, okay. Tesla, okay, well. How do you save the layout? Layouts? My layout save. Okay. Oh, that's right. We got an IO over there, eh? Okay. Wait, where did I do that from? Where did I do that from?
BJM says CL down. Maybe the profit takers from last night. Back to opening low.
Oh, layouts right here. My layout save. Okay. Look at that. They're pushing up again towards the highs. Oh, yeah. There's a really big move down in oil. Well, that one is going back to the top of the hour when there was quite a bit of news coming back out of the OPEC report, OPEC monthly report. They were expecting a mild winter, but overall they weren't expecting demand to be very good. So, okay, now the Treasury's kind of pushing back up here again. And the bids on top of me at 27 and 26.5 are not super great. So I'm still not seeing like the volume in the 10-year like really hit into it, but the market makers are pulling it. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that. The market maker definitely let it come up there. So it really wasn't a huge change in the volume to get it there. I mean, it was a little bit of buying, but it wasn't a huge change. And the volume is very much down, especially in the 30-year. By the way, it's doing that as the E-mini is sitting close to its highs. And then they take it up another notch. But you notice, like, every one of these is like 1,300 right there.
Joe Orsini says, hey, what add-on do you have for the S chart? Is that placing boxes around 30 minutes intervals?
Oh, so if you go on the Discord in the downloads channel, there is an an add-on you can get for free called multi time frame bars, and it's basically a box series that has been redesigned to show you open, high, low, and close instead of just the high and low. And that's what it's doing. So it's actually a second data series behind it, showing that what's going on the 5-minute chart. So you can see right now on a 5-minute chart, current bar may be turning red there. Nope, it looks like they fight it out and hold it.
Joe Orsini says, true, great, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. By the way, we haven't had like a pivot yet on the 5-minute E-mini chart. Close below the previous bar's low. Hasn't happened. They are pushing, and they just pushed a new high there too, right? Okay. I guess it doesn't matter if I move this because I'm back the queue anyways. Do you think now? The one thing I note is that I'm not seeing the dollar get pushed very far. Okay. Bipartisan group of lawmakers plans to unveil a $908 billion pandemic relief package. So the little bit of profit taking there. Remember, we got out at A5, so.
Winston's mom says, speculator Seth, are you okay?
Mm-hmm. There was probably got out half early. Although there's some deep pullbacks in there. I'm glad that it got out. Or I think it was appropriate to get out was the way that I try and trade is. So users report Charles Schwab is having problems, according to Down Detector.
Winston's mom says you look like you have nodded off 3 times. Or are you looking down at something? Ace Trades, are you still here?
Yeah, did he take a long in here?
Ace Trades says making breakfast.
Oh, okay. Down tick there in the 5-year.
Winston's mom says Ace Trades, can you see speculator Seth?
I'm looking down at something. I'm fixing my fingernail here. I don't feel nauseous anymore. So that probably was just every once in a while you get a weird oddity with my medication. Maybe because I didn't have enough protein in me or something. So there's some sort of interaction with, apparently it's the Strattera attaches to proteins of some sort, and so.
Ace Trades says at Winston's mom girlfriend, he is fine. Sugar Daddy says you need some EEEEEEEGGS.
Yeah, I didn't eat eggs this morning.
Winston's mom says okay, good and thanks, Ace Trades.
Usually I do, but today I was a little Felt like I was running behind and
WineTube says, will the stock market ever go down? Like the 2009 crash. It seems that the market goes up forever and I'm feeling anxious about not investing in time.
well, how do I put this? You will get this thing where there will be down, like when the market turns the way that it has been. You got to remember that the primary reason that they're moving up is
Ace
because
Trade
governments
says
are pumping a
profit in
lot
the
of
bank,
liquidity
but have
in.
they, for fun, trade long at 90.25.
Okay. The liquidity is the thing that's moving it up, right? And what we start to see when this happens, or at least what happened last time around, was you start to get a very low volatility regime. And what you will start to hear about is people shorting the VIX. The big trade that comes in is people short the VIX futures. And then what happens is too many people get short the VIX futures, some sort of unexpected risk off event pops around, and the market will drop very, very quickly. And then that ends up being the buy the dip trade that everybody talks about, right? So if you're not fully invested, and I'm not fully invested, I wouldn't be too concerned about it, because
RJ Wheel says, of course it will go down.
of course it will go down. I think that what you may see, or at least what
Winston's
I'm kind
mom
of
says CNN Google services went down for about an hour Monday in a massive outage that prevented many people from watching YouTube videos, accessing their Google Docs, or sending email on Gmail.
I saw one person on Twitter saying that they couldn't put their lights on. Anyways, so what I think you might see is a market that rotates aggressively instead of just falls apart, right? So, you know, when people say, it's at these all-time highs and all of these companies are crazy overvalued and the market just can't hold this forever. Well, what you could see happen is you could see a drop in, let's say, the next 2 to 3 months. I think you could see a pretty ugly drop, maybe off of coronavirus concerns, let's say, like new lockdowns for coronavirus. But what you will see is that drop will come largely at the expense of these companies that really have no business being as high as they've been. You know, like maybe Tesla, for instance. And then when it rotates around, it will go into these companies that didn't really participate the first time around, right? So what I would be doing is I would be keeping some cash and be thinking about what are the value plays. Like have a list, have a shopping list, and know what you think fair value is and wait for them to come down to fair value. Because the issue here in the market is that people are paying too much for some of these stocks, right? That doesn't mean that the overall market has to like pop. It's really hard for it to just like outright pop when you get in all of the liquidity, because what happens is the banks dump the stuff that they don't need, but they still have liquidity, so they just pick up the new things and it doesn't completely fall apart, right? Or to put it another way, if you have something that's going like this, and this is the average, right? And you think it has to go like this. Well, not necessarily. It just means that we're probably somewhere like right here, where it comes up and then it's going to bounce. I don't know. The bubble doesn't have to completely pop is the point. And I only say that having lived through this for the last 10 years and every day going and reading Zero Hedge, which I love that website, but you gotta understand what you're reading. Okay. So they provide a lot of things that really help you and they provide a lot of things that really work against you. Right. And one of the things that really works against you is them saying, oh, this is a bubble and it's going to pop. And it's really hard to have a outright pop when you have so much liquidity, right? Because the thing that creates the what the heck is that up? Oh, okay. Elon Musk posted a picture of Pikachu with a line on it, and I'm like, is there something on my monitor? So like when you have something fall apart, the banks will pull back and not make the markets and won't help these companies, these hedge funds and everything make as large of trades because they can't afford to put the risk on, right? And so it's like the market moves down, the risk pulls out, and that makes the market move down further, and that's what really causes like a bubble burst. But when they have the infinite liquidity, they can just put up more and just kind of stabilize it in the short term.
Sugar Daddy says you need way more problems to go down. Trump already fixed some of the minor issues. You could still ride this bubble for 10 more years.
Sure. But there's two big buts in here, right? The first big but is, but a lot of people are overpaying, especially on some of these high-flying names that Wall Street Bets loves. And when you pay that much for future earnings, they either have to grow crazy fast, or you're just not going to get a lot of return out of it, right? So some of these companies are going to be really slow. And overall, I think that you're going to find that the markets starting in 2021, probably more like quarter two of 2021, the market will go up, but it will be so incredibly slow, and you will find it really frustrating. Prepare yourselves now. Work on your mean reversion type strategies and look at the way the market traded in like 2015 and stuff like that, because it really is a difficult market. 2017 probably a better example. It really is a difficult market to trade for day trading, and it's frustrating. So prepare yourselves for that one, right? But then caveat number two going the other way is the whole inflation thing, right? So if the dollar really, really gets crushed and we get runaway inflation, which some people believe, which is a risk, then you get into this thing where it's like you've got to be in any kind of hard asset that you can, and you don't want to let it run away from you, sort of a thing. That's definitely a thing too. And that's a difficult market too. Not that I've ever really had to trade that, but I have looked a little bit at the way that it behaved in the 70s and early 80s. And it's frustrating because overall, the inflation is not really very good for the economy, but inflation in the short term is good for stocks. So you'll get these things where people are like FOMOing into stocks to buy things, but then you'll also have downturns that are really, really tough. So that's kind of my outlook here at the moment. REPH. I honestly, I don't care about the stocks, the individual stocks right now, guys. If you have a play that you think you could hold for 5 years, then we can talk about it from a valuation perspective, and we can look through the internals of it and everything. But I'm not interested in the day trades. This stock is hot today, and I'm definitely not down with go and post this stock in as many rooms as I can so that more people will buy it and it will help my position. We don't do that here. We're focused more on the big picture. We're trading futures, we're making markets.
Winston's mom says Ace trades. I couldn't believe I was seeing Kanye's name on the ballot. What did that vanity project cost him? He's rather tragic, talented yet dealing with mental issues.
I don't think it actually cost him as much money as you might think, because a lot of people that are like third-party groups are going to put up to get him on the ballot, and it's mostly like collecting signatures and stuff. Who knows, guys? Maybe Kanye will pull out a surprise move here and he could still win this before the end of the day. I know the electors are meeting, but It ain't over until it's over. Just saying. We may still see President Kanye. We can only hope. I understand, but the interesting thing is that when the stock market is at all-time high, usually the VIXs are low. Wouldn't that be a good idea to build a VIX portfolio and invest in those ETFs? Okay, so, and when the VIX spikes up, you instantly sell them. No. because the issue right now is that the probability is that the VIX will continue to decline. And a part of why the VIX is as high as it has been is because of this crazy options gamma trade that we've been getting. But I think that you're going to find that every turn that trade is going to become a little bit less and less effective, because it's become so widely known. Like the first time that this came around, I didn't really see people talking about it. And now it seems like everybody on Reddit knows about this trade, right? So that tells you something about whether that one can continue. I'm curious. I believe that if we do see a market downturn, that it's more likely to start next week, right? Let all of the options expire this Friday and then see what the gamma does next week, because they're not going to you got that next week, and then it's the holiday that week, the end of that week. And then after that, you get the time between Christmas and New Year's Day is just awful, awful action. So I'm not even going to stream during that time. I'm going to take that time to try and record some videos. And yeah, it's just awful trading. So you get what I'm saying? So they're not going to put that gamma. And then the January is going to come around. January actually ends up being one of the most active times of the year, because a lot of funds kind of make their yearly plays during that time. So you might see it again in January. But then after January is when I would expect to start to see that trade like really start to fade, right? And then it probably will turn into short the VIX. I'd be interested. We haven't seen Gary today, but I'm gonna bet you that Gary is still selling the options. That there's still names and places where he thinks that the volatility is going to come out.
Winston's mom says Ace trades. As you know, I spend a lot of time online. I ask everyone all over the world about the vaccine, but especially here in the States. No one is lining up. Everyone says I will wait and see.
Well, the people that are really vulnerable, they're going to get it. Like, this is the thing that's funny about it is here's my theory on the vaccine. Are you ready for this? Because I had a friend the other day was asking this very question on Facebook. They're like, okay, what do you think about the vaccine? Are you going to get it or not? And my response was no, because I'm not at risk. So I don't need to get the vaccine yet. So you realize you could get the vaccine today, right? How many of you think that if you wanted to get the vaccine today, that you would actually get it? Yeah, hands go down, right? You're not going to get it. You're not important enough to get it. You know who's going to get it first? The White House, right? Everybody in the White House and then the government positions are going to get it first because they're the important people, right? You know how that goes through. So this is what this is going to turn into is, people will want the vaccine. There will be people that want to get the vaccine and can't get it. There will be stories of people saying, If only this person had gotten the vaccine and the vaccine had been distributed faster, they would still be alive. And it will actually turn into, probably the Republicans will still stay in this. I'm not so sure that I want the vaccine. But some of these people that were saying like, oh, I don't know if I trust the vaccine that was developed under Trump, like, you know, these Democrats that were saying this stuff, they'll go from saying that sort of a thing to fighting to get the vaccine because they can't get it, because the supply is limited. Right. So it'll be like that for like the first 2 months, and then it will and then all of a sudden 50% of people will have it, and then it won't be a thing anymore, supposedly. There's Tony asking what Uzi's take on ZB. Yeah, that's so funny, Tony, because it's like Uzi is so much better at the treasuries than myself. It's very rare that he's on the wrong side of those, isn't it? And it's been a tough battle, but I think we only saw him for a short moment at the beginning of this.
WineTube says, I wish that you was my teacher. Where can I learn those fundamentals that's improve my investment and trading? Any suggestions?
Okay, so if you want to do fundamentals, and by fundamentals, I'm talking about how to value a stock, read the book One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. That is the ultimate guide. That is like, if you don't have that book, go buy it. Straight up. That is... Okay, so like we were talking a little bit earlier about gurus and things like that, and I was saying like, you know, you're not going to get these guys that like they're profitable every year, and that's why you're never going to see them post all of their statements all the time, because once you start doing that and then you have a bad year, and then you're basically done for. Like, people don't believe you anymore. Okay, but then there's Peter Lynch, and Peter Lynch ran a fund for 20 years and outperformed the index for decades, right? This guy knows his stuff. And he wrote a book basically claiming that as a retail investor, you can develop an edge over Wall Street because there are a lot of things that you see in your daily lives because you're a regular person that the people on Wall Street don't understand because they're too rich. And I think he makes a very compelling argument, and he talks about all of the things that he looked at when he was running his fund. It is the ultimate. You simply cannot get a more authoritative source. Like, I understand, like, there's Warren Buffett, but in terms of like managing a portfolio and winning year after year, I really think that Peter is the greatest. So that's the book to read if you're interested in that sort of stuff. Now, the thing that I do that's based more on the order flow, I'm reading this book called it's Financial Markets Under the Microscope. It's a book about market microstructure, and I am finding that this book does tell you a lot of the basic things that you kind of need to know to understand the level 2 and order flow. I kind of wonder, though, if I had not been watching markets as long as I have, if I would understand that book, because there's so much math in it, and a lot of it goes over my head. But the thing that's so interesting is that these things that we see in the market all the time, like it's not doing it very well. Well, it's doing it well in the 30-year here. There's only like 112 at this mid price at 72.25. And this is what we tend to see, is that this one price will be relatively weak, and then there'll be more liquidity at the next level, and then the next level there will be even more liquidity. Maybe here in ZBCN, that's a little better example of where the second price that's touched, it's okay, but then after that, it's a lot more, right? And there's also things like the way that the volume profile goes, where you get this kind of distribution and stuff like that. the book basically goes through and proves that there are mathematical reasons why these things happen. That is just the nature of this setup that we have, a two-way auction, cause these things to happen. And that's really cool. So I find that to be really useful. But I learned most of those things just from watching it. And we talk about them all the time, right? I show you all the time that, hey, okay, they're trading back and forth at 27.5, but they're willing to bid and ask up to 2,000 contracts. So at the moment, they're not really showing their hand that they're really willing to move it. The E-mini, it's down a little bit, but they're still holding it for now. And we should note that the treasuries coming up as high as they have was actually a little odd. So, that's kind of the read, and that can only tell you so much, but we're here every day, though. I don't know everything, but I can teach you a little bit, and I'm here every day. Okay, they aren't going to hit 27.5. Peter Lynch, 5 Investing Gems. He wrote a book called One Up on Wall Street. That's the book. What? Babylon B tweets, Santa Claus accused of quid pro quo for giving children gifts in exchange for good behavior. I need an i9. Can I get... Well, I don't think that you can update the CPUs in a laptop. No. I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I tried to present this in the video that I wrote on computer hardware, but it seems like that people don't either. I didn't explain it very well, or that people just don't care. But you will always get more power for your money by building your own desktop. Always. So if you're like going to school, then I understand the need for a laptop. But otherwise, I would build a desktop, especially if you're going to trade on it. Okay, so I wanted to point out that the 27 pulled a few times. Like, there's 4K on it right now, but they pulled a few times. They pulled it back to almost below 2,000. Well, look at that. Okay, so that time they bought 2,400, now 1,000, and they immediately bid a lot at 27.5 as well, which is interesting. So now I've got to ask myself why they feel compelled. Do they think that the E-mini is just going to flip down? Oh, actually, okay, so I am seeing it right here. The euro is taking a bit of a dive here. UK Health Secretary Hancock speaks. Am I seeing it in the British pound? British pound is down, is retracing much of its bullish action over the Brexit deal, kind of coming back to where they opened the week at. But the euro is taking a pretty aggressive downturn. Gold coming back, oil coming down. But E-mini holding up here. This is curious. But that flow that we just saw there, that looked to me like some informed trading. So now what do we do about it? Do we need to be super like panicking here? Or can we manage this out? Here's the E-mini, another new high. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm going to build an algorithm to bring that. I think now that they've pulled that flash crash thing a couple of times, I'm going to hope that the algorithms are a little bit more prepared to handle those. ECP to decide on dividend on a case-by-case basis. Lenders will have to prove their case to gain approval. RTRS sources familiar with the proposal. That might be a factor here. Okay, so 3,500 to 29. Okay. Magnitude 6.1 earthquake hurts Chile, Bolivia border region. New York City's de Blasio says New York City's moving towards a 5-day-a-week schools. Good. Yeah. Yeah, wine tube. That's exactly what I was referring to. We're referring to the guy that basically caused the flash crash using quote stuffing. Yeah. Well, I think he knew. Like, the thing is he was a market maker. The robots basically stole his strategy and pushed him out of the market. He knew exactly how they were working, so he knew exactly what he had to do to screw him up. Okay, so the treasury's kind of threatening even higher now as the E-mini takes a little step down, and I think that we finally get a pivot high. Almost certainly. I mean, maybe they pull this one out and it ends up having a tail, but given that it opened below the previous bar's low and it's still pushing down. Oh, actually, we did have a pivot high earlier. That closed below the previous bar's low as well. It's just that it almost immediately turned back up. Actually, I'm not sure what my thing would do in that case. Confirmed, and then there's low. And then never confirmed a pivot low, even though it made a new pivot high. Now I have to try it and see what it does. So I'm pretty sure this is that special case that I have to do weird stuff on. Oh, look, there's a kid. What happened to him then? Well, what happened to him was he was prosecuted. But they felt kind of bad for him, so I don't think that his punishment was too severe, and it happened during coronavirus, so it basically ended up being house arrest for a couple of years. And I'm sure that after that, I don't think that he'll be allowed to trade, but maybe they will, maybe he'll make a living teaching people or something, showing to other things, or maybe he'll become a stock guru. Who knows? I mean, when he was caught and everything, I was happy about it. But now that I know the story a little bit more, I do feel bad for him. Especially since he gave everything that he made to a bunch of different investment managers and they all lost it. That's hyper crazy. Like, what? He basically got scammed. His long-term investments were all terrible. It's not drawing for me. Oh, I took off the draw lines and I need to take off the keep broken lines. There we go. Yeah, it did. When it makes a new high, it makes it pivot. Well, the treasury's just careening up here now, almost at 30.5 now. Just because I'm going short, is it? Or I don't know, man. It's crazy. I'm talking about a new variant of the coronavirus has been found. E-mini taking a hit there. Ooh, actually. This is the UK health minister talking. I'm a little early on this trade, I think. New York should prepare for possibility of full shutdown, says de Blasio. I would really like to know why the treasuries bid so hard back up to 138, man. Like, look, they're going to blow the overnight high. Not quite. The overnight high is 138 even 05. Still. And move down at 23 kind of ends up looking like a significant failure. Okay, so if I'm as lucky as to get up here, I do have to take some profits. Tony says big numbers in ZB. Well, interestingly enough, if we come over and look at our charts, look at the cumulative delta on all of the ones on the bottom there. The delta is very much short for today. Obviously, there's been some comeback up here, but the ZB is taking off the 5-year. And look at the spread coming. So it's flattening considerably as it does so. So it's unclear what's causing it, but there was definitely some informed trading buying the treasuries up. I don't know what it is. I've been watching the headlines. I didn't really see any headline that was like obvious to me, but so I'm well past screwed here in the treasury now. So today is just a losing it. What? This can't just be off of these coronavirus headlines, is it? Okay, Hancock done speaking. Are they going to come back to the open? Just keep an eye on it here. Because that move is a little, I don't know. Now they're above, now they're at day high. Darn. Now Fauci is on MSNBC now. So that didn't end up being a very good pick either. Hmm. Well, I mean, the volume really rolled over, but I don't know, man. It's a really weird move to me. I guess the technicals and everything make sense. I just don't understand why. I would think that normally when they make a move like that, I would be able to point to something that would be a pretty solid explanation for why, but today I have no clue. Because that they turned like something really significant happened, but I just don't see it. And that's my limit in the treasury, so I could maybe try working at a short again here in a second, but thinking back on that, back when we were at 30 was when I should have been scratching it out. Alligator says, I'm not sure about financial impact. Could force more lockdowns. Anyways, market seems sensitive at the moment. He's referring to this headline. The new variants of COVID virus have been found. The move definitely happened when they were saying that. Fauci plans to get vaccine publicly. Oh, he hasn't been stuck yet? Okay. Yeah, they took that pretty quickly. Okay, stock slide as New York City mayor warns prepare for possibility of a full shutdown. Okay. I do think that the market is coming risk off because of coronavirus headlines. I'm not sure if their reaction is really justified or not. It's a hard one to call, isn't it? It seems like there was a combination of things going on at the time. One of the things that I was hearing was the UK health minister saying that they found another mutation of the virus and kind of trying to downplay it. I don't think that that was necessarily it. But then at the same time, de Blasio was saying that we should prepare ourselves for the possibility of a full lockdown. The way that it was presented, I'm kind of thinking maybe it was they're saying that it's going to happen. I kind of felt like that the markets was already trying to price in that there was going to be another round of shutdowns, but it's hard to argue with the tape, right? Well, we can do this. Oh, this market's being very difficult. Yeah, that's a stop. You're going to go down again. This could turn into a real bender then. Well, there's 74 below us. Yeah. I mean, that in the E-mini, that looks informed. It's not just stop outs there. And they easily went through 74, by the way, too. What? Somebody just posting something to us in Discord. It's from an account called Guru Leaks, who has posted stuff before. Says Folksy Ginger, a trading guru, day trade warrior, is deleting his tracks. He's deleted over 25,000 tweets in the past few hours. Don't worry, the FTC will subpoena them if necessary. Really? You think that's going to happen? If Ross got taken down, that would be, hoo boy. Well, let's take it with a grain of salt for now. I don't know how reliable this guy is and if he actually knows something or if he's just pointing out some interesting activity, but he is hinting that some more day trade guru, what is the word? FTC complaints may be coming through. So we're trying this kind of market making experiment in the 10-year where I'm only using a max of 4 contracts. I've had some successes with it, but it seems to me that the biggest problem that I have with running this is having a set point at which I'm going to reduce my exposure, because there's been periods where I've increased it and then it ended up being a very, very bad idea, like that move that we just had against us. I suppose that you're going to have those happen. So I don't know. I don't know if how do I say? Oh, I don't know if that one was, that I could save that one. Like, I think that I'm supposed to take a loss there, but it shouldn't have been as big, right? That's what I'm thinking here. A trader called Matt2 is removing his... Really? Removing videos teaching volume profile? Huh. Kind of wondering if I should if I should have kept my exposure up there, but I'm going to try this again, by the way. Guru Leaks seems to be implying that he's going to delete everything. Okay, well, the 10 years not really. It's kind of holding liquidity here. Was Ross legit? Well, I don't know, Chris. Here's the thing. He used to post. I know that he would post statements. He never reviewed well. I always, everything that I always heard about Ross was that, like, it seems like he's making money, but that you're probably not going to duplicate his success using what he teaches. So I don't know. What he was trading was certainly stuff that I would be like little weary about trying to duplicate. So he was taking very risky trades. Low float stocks, things that moved a lot. It was like the NQs of stocks, you know? So, but him deleting everything sure is interesting. Can't say it means anything. We'll see what happens. Well, I made my video that says, "Hey, YouTube, you need to," and here's the other. I guess there's another thing that I should say about it. I don't know how I can do this if I make another video or what, but the other thing that you need to say about it is that you shouldn't make claims. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, well, I don't know if I should have taken off the 2 contracts where I did, but it is coming back off pretty hard. BlackRock upgrades 612 outlook on equities to overweight. Okay. I don't know about this one. So there's some real fight here in the tape in the E-mini now. Well, it looks like me trying to buy the dip is not working out. Yep, not a good look. Deleting tweets. Hope he made enough money to write off into the sunset. Oh, he probably made a ton too. Like that's I bet you he make more money than the Raging Bull guys. Don't you think? Probably he did. I'm not going to say that I believe that he's outright scamming people though. The thing with him, he is absolutely outright scamming people, you say? The thing is that I've seen from him is that I've seen broker statements from him, and I've seen him post really bad losses periods too. So that's where I'm like, I would hope that they're all live trades. I can't say that he's always winning or not, but my understanding is that as long as you're not lying to them about what you're doing, your performance and stuff, that you're okay. But it could be more nuanced than that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Well, the E-mini sure took a hit there. I'll tell you what, if this sell in the E-mini, I can do it one more time. If they're able to push back down again, then this is going to turn into a really nasty day, because then you're really pushing through standard levels and stuff. SolarWinds was target of global attack by nation-state hackers. Yep. So I'm getting more mainstream confirmation that the way that they got into the State Department was through SolarWinds. I think he is hindsight trading. Did you look at all his trades in the statements? I don't know. I honestly don't recall looking at the actual statements, just seeing that they were available, to be honest with you. Here's the thing, is that if they're stock traders, I'm kind of like, well, because I understand that stock trading is like a completely different game, right? When I'm looking around and somebody makes a claim in futures, and then I'm immediately like, okay, show me. And then you never get it in futures. I've had people show me stuff. I don't think, if I sat down and I said, okay, show me 5 years worth of statements or I'm going to ban you because I think you're full. You know, like, I don't think anybody would ever do it. Because in 5 years, there's going to be something embarrassing in there. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, in 5 years, there's going to be something embarrassing in there. But I've had people show me statements of, anywhere from 1 to 6 months that were really great. And I think that they were good traders. It's just like I say, like, just because they're making money now doesn't mean that they'll make money next year or next month or whatever. Do you think that there is more of an edge for retail traders in futures simply by the fact that more retail traders trade stocks? No. In fact, I would say that it would probably be easier for us to make money if there were more retail traders in futures. No joke. If there was a little bit more, if there was more uninformed liquidity in the futures, then I think it would be easier for us using our market making methods to make some money. The thing is I don't know if it really matters how many of them there are, as so much as it is if they're informed. So if you've got all of these guys and they're trading, they think that they're informed, but they're not. They're trading technical analysis or something like that doesn't really have a reliable, predictive quality to it. Then it's really just noise, right? Now, if we're using like a pure market making technique, then supposedly that noise should be to our benefit. But what I do when I'm doing my live trades, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. So you're taking on a lot of risk to do that. Like you saw in our treasury trade, right? It ended up being like more than a $500 loss. It probably should have been a $250 loss, but like that's how it goes. So yeah, but on the other hand, I felt, particularly towards the end of the summer, when I felt like that was like the peak, like people coming in and trying to day trade and stuff like that. Like that's when I saw the most stuff about it in the media and so forth. It was really easy to trade during that time. There was these days where I would do crazy well. I was making like 100 a day. Not all, I think most of that was on sim, but I do think I traded a couple of that in live and made a bit before made a boo-boo. But there was some of those days where it felt like you just couldn't lose, you know what I mean? Because they were just throwing so much money at it. As long as you weren't selling it, you were making money. And I don't know. That's really interesting. Okay, so I'm getting a higher pivot high now. And it looks like we're going to beat out the range too. So I think, well, how did I do off of all of that? I lost twice, right? I lost 3 times. But I won one that was worth 2. So actually basically flat at the moment. Have to question though how far they'll get. So they're going to the open, and then after that the seller's cost basis is all the way up at 36.85. But that's where I was saying that this move to me looks more like a news driven stop out than it is like a significant like a reversal, you know? So we'll see if I'm wrong. Like this is just like a perfect example of where it's hard to go against the crowd, isn't it? Because I'm sitting here thinking I don't think that this is a big deal, but it's really hard to argue with what happened, isn't it? And I'm thinking I'm probably going to be found wrong. We'll see. Now, another thing I'm just thinking here. I remember when I was getting these gurus and stuff and they concerned me, I was sending them to the SEC. And it's the FEC, the FTC that's been doing stuff. So I'm going to go look at that again. Nice pullback off UK report, yeah. Like they were quite a bit more aggressive downside than I expected, but you know, I thought that we would get some kind of pullback, and I think that one was pretty nice. Now, do you think that the treasuries are going to do the same? I'm considering pulling it. I'm going to pull it here for a second and see what they do. I might put it back. What did you just say, Gurus? I couldn't understand. So Hold on a second. The squawk is talking. So we had an incident where another channel was harassing us. It started like one time they just came in. He came into chat and I banned him. I thought that would be the end of it. But then we continued to see them try to spam our Discord and stuff. And it kind of started to escalate into outright harassment. So kind of part of what would happen was that they have like a Discord and people would, sign on to that program. And then after a couple of months, they would be like, I was spending all this money and haven't learned anything and I'm not making any money. And that there'd be large defections. And there would be people that were like held up as star traders that would leave. And so when that would happen, like their entire crop of people would disappear and come over here. And I don't know, part of it was that because he had been harassing me before, people kind of knew. But the other thing is that this guy talks about me all the fucking time. Like there's literally this 1 week at the beginning of the year where he spent several 6-hour streams talking about me and her, harass and doing things that were like explicitly against the YouTube terms of service, like saying I'm ugly and stuff like that, which was just kind of weird. But anyways, there was some people that they were former customers of his that left and were kind of trying to call him out. And so he started to harass them. So there was one incident where somebody came to their house. Then they didn't meet the person that came to their house in person, but they do believe that it was that they were sent by this guy to harass them. All sorts of stuff like that. There was one person that apparently this person had a criminal past. And so they doxed him. And, so all of that stuff was going on. They posted information about me over there. Like they posted my full name and stuff like that. Not like it's easy. It's not like it would be difficult to find. But, they posted personal information about me. And anytime that stuff happened, Discord was just kind of like, well, they say this and you say this and we don't know what to believe. And they never did anything. Yeah. Well, what a dick. But the key thing here is that this person makes significant claims. So this is the person that like they say, oh, I win all the time. They actually posted some broker statements, but the broker statements that they posted were situations where they were making like 1 point on the E-mini, and it was just taking micro trades like that. And so they said, hey, why don't you do what is that? I forget the name of the website, but there's a website that you can like sell as a signal service. So he set his thing up to send the trades to this signal service, and it went well for a couple of months, and then in one day the thing just blew up, and he blamed it on them, of course. And so you've got this going on, and he has some algorithms too, and then the algorithms are like taking 4-to-1 risk reward. So basically you're risking 16 ticks to make 4 ticks. Of course, that's not going to work out. Oh, I had somebody on YouTube on Facebook group was trying to push that sort of thing too. And I'm like, you realize that you realize how high of a win rate you need to have for that to work, right? Anyways, so he was making all of these claims and being a guru and people spending thousands of dollars, and it was all complete nonsense. And we tried reporting it and all sorts of things, and nobody did anything about it. So now I'm thinking, oh, okay, I need to go talk to the FTC, not the SEC. So that's what I will do. And another one, there's 2 or 3 of them like this. The other one was that guy who was like, oh, this guy is such a great guy. And I'm pretty sure now, he hasn't been back since I called him out, but I'm pretty sure that he was that guy's channel under a different name because he knew way too much about him. And it was posting all of the defensive arguments that this guy makes about why he doesn't show his results and everything. And it's a very obvious when you look at it that this guy is a total scam. That one is in Forex. That one is in Forex. That one's crazy. But so yeah, I don't like talking about it because I don't want to give people the attention. You know what I mean? But if the FTC is going to actually start doing something about it, then let's get it on. Okay, pretty good pullback. They came back to the average true range stop and kind of stopped there and pulling back now. And the E-mini not turning back down too much. Well, I don't know what's going to happen because I have to quit. And so I'm not going to be able to pay attention to it. So let's just say that I broke even on the E-mini and that I totally screwed up the 10-year treasury, although I had some okay calls. Can someone tell who it is? No, I'm not publicly here. I can tell you about it in Discord if you really want, but the whole issue here is that I don't want people going, oh, I want to know more about this person and visiting that channel and then that boosting the channel, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've been saying for a while that I've been finding the market difficult to trade past couple of weeks. And at first this morning I was like, this too easy. But then when it turned down, I mean I could have made money on that downturn, but I didn't. I was like, nah, this is wrong. And I fought it. Still fighting it. We'll see if this one turns out. I don't know, man. I'm not quite sure what it is that I need to make my next step, but I need to change something, right? Need to change something here. Maybe it's just that I need to go back to being like scaredy pants all the time. Okay, guys. I better get going. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay profitable, friends. Stay profitable, friends.